You've seen the smiles. You've heard the empathy. You've been comforted by the softness. But what if beneath all of that is a different layer? One that's rarely talked about, but constantly at work. This isn't about blaming. It's not about praising either. This is about understanding, because the truth is, many of the psychological tools girls use are invisible, but powerful. And if you don't see them, you're probably being affected by them already. Let's talk about the dark psychology facts about girls. The kind that don't show up in casual conversations, but shape relationships, decisions, and entire social dynamics. One, strategic vulnerability, when softness becomes a weapon. Here's a twist. You're not taught in school. Vulnerability isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's one of the most calculated tools in female psychology. From early on, girls are conditioned to understand the value of appearing soft, delicate, even helpless. Society rewards it. Attention follows it, and in certain moments, doors open faster for someone who appears in need than for someone demanding power. But here's where it gets psychological. This isn't always conscious. Many girls don't walk around thinking, "I'll act weak to get what I want." Instead, they've internalized the connection between vulnerability and reward so deeply that it becomes instinctive. Let's say a girl senses a threat, whether emotional or social. Rather than confront it head-on, she might shrink, cry, or withdraw. The reaction: protection, attention, guilt from others, power, without ever raising her voice. This is what makes strategic vulnerability so difficult to detect, because it doesn't look like manipulation. It looks like emotion, but the outcome, often the same: control. 2. Social precision, the latent power of inclusion and exclusion. If you want to understand how girls shape social hierarchies, don't look at who they talk to. Look at who they don't. Girls, far more than boys, master the art of silent social warfare. They don't need to insult you to eliminate you. All it takes is a cold glance, a group chat without your name, or a compliment that feels like a jab. It's the psychology of selective inclusion. Who gets invited? Who gets mentioned? Who's left to feel invisible? Why is this powerful? Because humans are wired for belonging. Rejection, even subtle rejection, activates pain centers in the brain. And girls learn very early that the ability to give or withhold inclusion is a kind of power that can shape behavior, self-esteem, and group dynamics. This isn't cruelty. It's control through social architecture. You won't see it written down. You won't hear it said aloud. But it moves silently through schools, workplaces, friend groups, even families. And if you're on the outside, you'll feel it before you can explain it. 3. Emotional surveillance. She sees you before you speak. There's a kind of radar that many girls develop, especially those who grow up in emotionally unpredictable environments. It's the ability to read emotional cues before words are even spoken. She notices when your tone changes mid-sentence. She sees the tension in your shoulders. She picks up on that 1-second pause before you respond. And while you're still trying to figure out what you're feeling, she's already working with the information. This emotional hyper-awareness is often labeled as empathy. But in darker frames, it becomes a form of psychological advantage. She knows when to push, when to pull back, and how to say something just soft enough that you don't resist, but still changes your mind. This isn't mind reading, it's pattern reading. And it's why some women can navigate emotionally complex situations with incredible accuracy, often without needing to ask a single question. Think about that. If someone can read you faster than you read yourself, who's really in control of the interaction? These patterns don't make girls dangerous or manipulative. They make them human, strategically human, in a world that taught them to survive through subtlety, emotion, and precision. We all have psychological tools, but girls, they often wield theirs in ways that go unnoticed, unspoken, and incredibly effective. Understanding these truths doesn't make you suspicious, it makes you aware. If this gave you a new lens to look through, like the video. Subscribe for more deep dives into human behavior, emotional strategy, and the hidden layers of everyday life. And tell me in the comments, what other truths do we need to talk about?